What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq because there's a lot happening now. I know we heard about the talk about a rate change. We will cover that because a lot of people have been asking me. There's a lot of messages when I was gone. So let's get into that here. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings in their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right. Gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free half ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. So head on over there right now. Is a good time to buy some gold and silver. Everybody and their mama's talking about the fact that the market is getting ready to crash here real soon, and we know it is. They can only prep it up for so long. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. And a lot of you know I have an alternative website. I encourage you guys to go check it out. There's one video on there. It's free right now that I think it's important for y'all to listen to. So reach on over there. The link is down below in the description. So what's going on in Iraq? There's quite a few things going on. Again, still Iraq seems to be moving aggressively and forward in a very positive manner. We know that they are getting ready for the elections and they're prepping themselves to do so. There's a lot of different groups that are going to be there monitoring it to see that this goes well. I'm curious to see what the outcomes of that are going to be, that's for sure. I was expecting this to happen sometime in July, but it's definitely here now at the end of September. Now it's Brent crude to jump up to $80 a barrel. I was expecting it to hit 100 by the end of the year, but we'll take it. We'll take it right now. This is good. The higher it goes up, the better it helps out Iraq as far as getting money together and being able to spend this money on, private sectors, building jobs, and getting away from relying so much on oil as their main source of income. So the price of Brent crude jumped up on Tuesday to $80 for the first time in nearly 3 years. I still anticipate it's going to continue to go up. We'll see if it does. It says global supplies are tight due to the rapid recovery of the fuel demand from the Delta outbreak. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Biden's administration can thank Iraq for the fact that they're going to be increasing the amount of production of oil, hopefully driving down the price of gas. I was in Texas. Gas is like $2.54 a gallon. You come over here to California, it's like $4.54. It's ridiculous. The huge difference in prices, that's for sure. The advisor to the Prime Minister announced the details of the Chinese loan and the projects funded by it. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about any time China comes into a country, but I know they're kissing a lot of Middle Eastern butt, and that's because they are looking to add them onto the Silk Road Initiative or the Belt Initiative and open up those old trade routes and do what they can to just bypass America in a lot of different ways. Or I should say they're exchanging oil for work on projects. What China's done in the past is China has worked with other countries, giving them loans that they knew they could not pay back. And they ended up taking over a lot of their ports and taking over a lot of the resources. So this kind of move is not surprising, but we'll see where it goes. I'm not a fan of it, and I would hope that Iraq would have stayed away from them. Baghdad and Washington discussed the file of the election and the displaced. We know the election is coming up here. What is it? About 12 days, couple weeks, less than a couple of weeks. Let's hope Al-Kadhimi gets back in there, continues to do the great things that he is doing. Speaking of, the Prime Minister Al-Kadhimi thanked the security forces for the success of the plan to protect the Alderan visit. So that's when he went over to the other holy site. So he's thanking the security forces for that. The Association of Private Banks organizes a meeting between the governor of the central bank and the heads of the boards of director of banks. Nice little meeting there. But basically what they're doing is just getting their ducks in a row to make sure they're all part of the same system, that one system that everybody's trying to get tied into, so they can run that one digital currency and monitor everybody, basically keep everybody away from cash, get everybody stuck in the system so they can just spy pretty much on you is what it is. So that's happening everywhere. You're seeing different countries improving, is what they're calling it, the infrastructure on their banks. But that's all it is, just their way, another control mechanism. We've talked about it several times. Jordanian company wins a $40 million construction deal in Iraq. So they are starting to come in there, and I'm sure once they get there, they'll be hiring at least some locals to come and help on construction. This would be a big deal for helping Iraqis get back to work. Helps out the economy, of course. So already part of the tripartite meeting, we could see Jordan already moving into Iraq. At least the company has. Anytime you can get into a country, start working on the infrastructure, start helping rebuilding it, whatever it is the project is, any kind of construction, you hire the locals. The locals get to go to work, pay taxes. You know the whole deal. So already Iraq continuing to head in a great direction, or still continuing to head in the right direction, and Jordan getting in there making some money as well. The board of directors of the Center of Banking and Studies in the Central Bank of Iraq holds its second meeting for the year 2021. As you can see, they're just getting their ducks in a row so that they're all going to be tied into that same, whether it's called the quantum financial system or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be the new SWIFT system is all it is. So the central bank digital currency. So it says report on the activities of the Center for the Bank Studies for its first half of 2021, the nomination of vice chairman, authorizing the head of the center's board of directors to authorize training fees for those specializations determined by the center. Washington supports a single window system via the internet in Iraq by about $1 million. So this is just a good way for them to streamline their services, and it's easier to monitor for corruption is really the big thing. There's a lot of transparency on there. A lot of the businesses will get registered a lot more quicker, especially with all the corruption that was there. The foreign minister said Iraq has succeeded in holding meetings with countries in the region in order to resolve differences between them. Some of these differences go all the way back to the days of Saddam Hussein. You know what I mean? The guy's been dead a while now, so these should have all been ironed out, in my opinion, a while ago. But it looks like they're definitely going that direction now. So there was a statement by the ministry that said the foreign minister met with the Norwegian Minister of Foreign Affairs on the sidelines of the 76th session for the United Nations General Assembly. And during the meeting, they discussed strengthening and developing bilateral relations between the two countries and the latest political, security, regional, and international developments. So it looks like a lot of these countries are getting together, ironing out their differences, and see what they can do to do business together. Security is a big deal over there, so as long as they want to come aboard and help fight terrorist groups, I'm pretty sure Iraq will welcome them into the country. So Akademi went over there to the holy province of Karbala just to visit for a little bit. Went over and talked to the 40th anniversary of the Ayman Hussein's peace be upon him. So here's the biggie. Here's the one a lot of people are asking me about. It's the advisor to the prime minister. Sets the conditions for re-exchange of the dollar to the previous rate. So this is what he's saying needs to be in place before they'll change the rate back to where it was before. But there's part of this that looks a little confusing. People brought it up, and I agree. It does look a little misleading. I'll show you what that means here in just a moment. So what did Saleh say? He said, restoring the dollar exchange rate to its previous era requires a number of things and a period of time, stressing that the country's foreign currency reserves must be stabilized by addressing the budget deficit as well as improving the economy. Well, with oil prices being the way they were, we were told that they don't have a deficit, that it's been covered. So that's one thing. We also were told that we're holding on to record amounts of foreign currency, so that's the other. He stressed that this matter cannot happen in a short period of time according to the current economic fluctuations and general economic policies, which is difficult for anyone to speculate on its current condition. Yeah, I agree with that. That's for dang sure. The exchange rate was previously between 2006 and 2008. Here was where the confusion is. So what are they saying? They want to restore it back to 2006, 2008 dinars for every $1? That's a step in the wrong direction. We need it to go in the opposite direction. If you're going to reinstate it, it was 1,190 dinars for every $1. Right now we're at 1,450 for every dollar. So are they saying these are the years, that rate, whatever it was those years? Or they're saying that they're going to devalue it again? So yeah, I understand where you guys are coming from, and I agree it is confusing. But it did say restore to the previous rate. But what previous rate are they talking about? The one that it's changed it from? That is a good question. It says the exchange rate was previously between 2006 and 2008. No, it was actually around 1,190. It is noteworthy that the Central Bank of Iraq decided on January the 19th, the last, to make a significant change to the dollar exchange rate. This is what I was talking about, 1,450 per dollar is what they changed it to. So yeah, I'll dig into this just a little more. It is confusing because it looks like they're changing the rate in the wrong direction. I can't help but feel like they're talking about changing it to the rate it was during those years is what it looks more like. Let's take a look. So if you see here in 2006 to 2008, those rates were somewhere just below, pretty much where it was, 1,190, pretty close to it anyways, which is the previous year. So that's why the article looks a little confusing. The central bank decides to issue construction bonds to support the 2021 budget. Nice, because the paybacks are pretty good. You got 1 million dinars at 7% per year for 4 years. 500,000 bonds for 6% per year. Of course, that's in Iraqi Dinar. That's a pretty good return. So this is Saleh, who went on the news just to say, look, man, Iraq went through a heck. It was right in the center of a lot of different conflicts. And so now they're just ready to get their act together, get back on the international scene. But basically, Saleh's just saying we were not doing very good for a long time. We are getting back on track quickly. There was a lot of respect there, and it's lost. And now their goal is to just, get back to that status. So it says the 2022 budget's coming up ahead. It said this is the priority of the 2022 budget, according to Saleh. It said that the priority of the draft budget law for the year 2022 would be to pay the external and internal debts owed by Iraq, because failure to pay them is considered a failure and not good international financial indicator. 9 trillion dinars of debt services, installments, and interest will be paid out. That's a heck of a lot of money right there for 2022. So I know they redid the budget, and I think they're putting it this time at $50 per gallon, but they're anticipating it being above 75, which is going to help them out in a big way. So yeah, you guys, I did see the rate thing. It was confusing. I agree. But I think what they're talking about is what the rate was in the years of 2006, 2007, which was around the 1,190 dinars. So yeah, you definitely don't want it to go to 2006 or 2008 dinars for every dollar. That is definitely in the wrong direction. So yeah, I get the confusion. I'm curious to see how this election turns out, and I'm excited about it, hoping that our boy there, Al-Kademi, could get reelected so he can continue doing what he is doing. Other than that, that's it for now. You guys hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I actually do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.